through the first 30 minutes. NFC on top 6-0.
And the AFC has just doubled everything the NFC has, except the numbers on the scoreboard. Yards passing, 36 yards only for the NFC in one half. Usually they would do that in one pass. 187 total yards to 84. Turnovers, AFC has one more turnover. Maybe that is the difference, because they had an interception by Everson Walls that got the ball on the 5-yard line, and from there Montana hit Jimmy Giles for the touchdown.
Only scoring of the first half, so the second half about to get underway on a gorgeous day in Honolulu.
You know, the people over here, Al, really love their sports. They pack out this stadium every year for this game. They talk about it the entire week. They were showing up here at the parking lot at 7 o'clock this morning, jam-packed, having their tailgate parties. It's a big event for them. They really do like it, and I hope our people watching it back on the mainland like it as well.
There is tremendous interest here, and always has been, in pro football.
Is that Tom Landry?
Yes, it is. On vacation in Hawaii. Yeah. He's coached in a few of these. It wasn't that many years ago, in the late 60s, before the new technology and the satellites came into frequent use. The pro games here used to be shown on a week delay basis, and they used to get great ratings. They love their football here. Roaches back deep. It'll be Rafael Septien to kick things off in the second half. The Dallas plays kicker to put it in the air for the NFC.
All right, here it is. Joe Montana, the only touchdown of the game, came from the 5-yard line after the turnover. He faked the ball inside. There's Jimmy Giles pushing off of Mel Blunt. Blunt falls down. Watch Giles go up. He did it again. 6 points. The extra point was blocked, and that is our scoring. And as I predicted, a high-scoring game as we started this show.
AFC had a couple of shots. Lowry missing on a 52-yard field goal attempt, and then he had a chip shot, but Largent couldn't handle the snap. And so they have been turned aside. Getting ready for the start of the second half, and again the breeze has blown the ball off the tee for Septien as they do some house cleaning work.
Well, they had some wheels out there carrying those big floats for the halftime show, and something must have ripped up there on the turf.
So there is George Toma, who of course is the man in Kansas City who takes care of both Royal Stadium for baseball and Arrowhead for football. He an NFL consultant and brought over here to get the playing surface ready. He is a miracle worker. Any man who could turn Candlestick Park into a playable surface is a miracle.
Is he the guy that did that?
He is the man that did it. Meanwhile, have a moment. Chris Collinsworth, the sensational rookie wide receiver of Cincinnati. Let's meet him.
Chris, congratulations on your great year. Tell me, it's difficult throwing the ball in this league, but you come in as a rookie, you have a great year. How'd you do it?
Well, I'm just out here trying to have a good time, you know. They're paying me good money to come out and enjoy playing something that I love to do, and I'm just having a little trouble out here in a place where the wind chill's about 85 degrees out here, and, you know, so if I don't sweat to death, maybe we can come back here in the second half.
Did you and Kenny Anderson develop a special kind of chemistry for this season?
Well, you know about that. I'm sure that anytime a quarterback and receiver gets together and has some good things going for them, it takes a lot of time, not always during practice, but a lot of times after practice and in special film sessions, and especially when you got one of them old dumb rookies you have to work with all the time. So Kenny spent a lot of time with me, and it's been great for me.
Who do you pattern your playing style after?
This guy named Lynn Swan from Pittsburgh. He's the best I ever saw.
Thank you much, Chris. You take care. Congratulations to you. Al?
Nice setup, Swanee.
Yeah, Swanee. That was a real setup. You told me he said that yesterday.
Yeah, they were rehearsing it last night. Here we go. Second half is underway. As Septien kicks to Roaches, takes it from the 6 out to the 10, the 15, the 20. And works his way out to the 25-yard line. Met there by Mac Blair of the Minnesota Vikings.
It is ironic in a year when you have so much offense. I've never seen so much offense. High-scoring games. We come to the Pro Bowl with the elite of the world. And the NFC has 36 yards passing in one half in perfect weather.
And 6 points on the board set up by the defense by the interception by Walls. Ken Anderson of the Bengals starts the second half at quarterback. First down from the 25-yard line. It's Delaney, the Chiefs rookie from northwestern Louisiana, tackled by Fensick as Gary came in from the secondary to drop him for a loss of 3. Randy White putting the pressure on that time, and Finsick finishing him off.
There he is. Good-looking young chap, isn't he?
Second Pro Bowl for Gary. Only representative of the Chicago Bears here. Each team with a 40-man roster. Second down and 13 from the 22-yard line. Anderson throwing over the middle and incomplete. Intended for Delaney, and we've got a penalty marker now back at the 12-yard line.
And Leroy Selmon just went right by Leon Gray, and that's who the holding penalty is going to be on. As you see, old Joe Klecko. He's kind of a star, been in a movie or two. Truck driver, as I remember. Rushes the passer fairly well.
He and Gastineau.
Holding number 74 on the offense. Penalty is declined. It's third down.
All going against Leon Gray. And it's third down and 13.
And he better get set up again, because Leroy Selmon is going to be coming once again at Leon Gray. No doubt about it's got to be a pass.
Collinsworth to the left and Frank Lewis split to the right. To Winslow. And he has a first down out at the 36-yard line. Roynell Young of the Philadelphia Eagles making the tackle.
They may be substituting a lot of players out, but Kellen Winslow's in there most every offensive play I've seen. Here's Anderson back in the pocket. Watch in the middle there. You see Leroy Selmon get hammered. Here's Winslow getting open away from Matt Blair. Makes the catch.
At the 37-yard line, you look at Tony Dorsett on the NFC bench. 1st and 10 for the AFC. Anderson throwing it right into the arms of Frank LeMaster. And the Eagle linebacker takes it down to the 34-yard line.
Well, it was a timing pass. He was trying to throw it down and in to his outside receiver, and he just didn't see LeMaster come underneath it. Here he goes from the ground. Anderson's back in the pocket. It's a timing pass going into Collinsworth. LeMaster comes underneath him, which he didn't see. Interception, another turnover for the NFC, and another good field position.
So the National Conference in business at the AFC 34-yard line with 13:20 to go in the third period, and the NFC leading 6-0. Master making the interception, giving the NFC the ball. 8-year veteran out of Kentucky, playing in his first Pro Bowl. NFC at the 34-yard line. Montana, the quarterback, lofting it for Ahmad Rashad, but he's out of bounds. Ran out at about the 15-yard line. Lester Hayes with him step for step.
That's a pretty good matchup. You'll see Ahmad going against, he does this as well as anybody, against Lester Hayes, who does what he's doing as well as anybody. And Lester does not give an inch, forces Ahmad out of bounds. Montana tries to lead him out, not enough room.
John McKay with his team on top.
Kind of relaxed guy, old John McKay. He said, we're boys will come over here, we're going to have fun this week, and we might even win a game as while we're having fun. And they're doing it right now.
2nd and 10 from the 34-yard line. Sims inside the 30, and Billy takes it to the 24-yard line, where Jack Lambert, who's been in the league for 8 years and is playing in his 7th Pro Bowl, makes the stop. Jack Lambert of the Steelers. Missing the Pro Bowl game just one time.
He's not a very intense player, is he? He's always talking, he's yelling, he's screaming. He is some kind of intense player. That's a meek, mild picture of Jack Lambert. You'll never see him like that. There he is, behind that bar.
First down from the 24. It's Sims on a play that doesn't fool anybody. Pushed back outside the 25-yard line. Robert Brazile of the Oilers. Brazile's got a pretty good thing going. He's like Lambert. He's been in the league for 7 years and has been in the Pro Bowl now half a dozen times.
Well, it says something about the caliber of play that they've been accustomed to, and their peers recognize how good they are and put them in here every year. No politics played there.
On 2nd and 11. Montana incomplete. Rashad was on the near side and had pulled up near the sideline to avoid going out. The pass going awry. Hayes again covering Ahmad.
Very good throw on Montana's part, because if he doesn't throw it out of bounds, Lester Hayes interception, runs it back.
3rd down and 11 upcoming. Mentioned before, the players are selected by their peers, by the coaches. How did you feel if you had a good year and you weren't selected, Fran?
Very disappointed. One year, I had a year that I thought was an excellent year. We went to the Super Bowl, and I did not go to the Pro Bowl. Did not get picked.
On 3rd and 11. Montana has it picked off at the 4-yard line. Back to the 10. To the 15, and out to the 20-yard line goes Gary Barbaro of Kansas City.
And William Andrews is on the turf. Here he is, Montana from the ground here, going back, looking at the defense. He just overthrows a lot of receivers. Barbaro playing kind of a center field, fields the ball, easy interception. Not a good throw by Joe. There's William Andrews trying to make the tackle, and he was slow getting up from that effort.
So the AFC stymies that effort by the NFC with 11:34 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Still 6-0 National. Ken Anderson, the quarterback, on 1st down from the 20-yard line. They go to the reverse, and it's Frank Lewis of Buffalo who gets dropped back at the 15-yard line by Fred Dean of the 49ers.
And I watched Fred Dean the entire way there. He had no pursuit to go to the reverse side of the field or the sweep side of the field. Stayed right at home, just waiting on it, right in the catbird seat. Watch it there. Hands off. They're faking a sweep to your left as you look at it. Then they come back, reverse around, and watch Fred Dean play off the blocker. Easily make the play. A lot of defense, not much offense here.
Fred Dean out of Louisiana Tech, going from San Diego to San Francisco as the pass rush specialist. On 2nd down and 14, the draw. Delaney out to the 19-yard line. Setting up 3rd and long with 10:40 remaining in the 3rd period.
The defense has just dominated, obviously, the entire game. It's interesting to note, though, that during a year when they are not able to stop anybody's offense, here they're just shutting them down completely.
On 3rd and 11. Anderson to put it up, throwing out to the 30-yard line and incomplete. Winslow was there and couldn't hang on.
And Gary Fensick really caused that incompletion, because as Winslow went to make the catch, Fensick hit him, knocked the ball away from him.
It would have been very close to a 1st down as they needed to move the ball out to the 30-yard line. Instead, Pat McInally into punt.
We're giving McInally and Skladany a lot of TV time today for all their friends back home to watch them out here in sunny Hawaii.
McInally, 1 punt today. It was a beauty. That's Nelms of Washington back deep, standing at his own 40-yard line. McInally, who averaged better than 45 yards a kick. A wobbly line drive this time. Nelms from the 47 into AFC territory, looking for room to the outside, and takes it to the 44 after a 35-yard punt by McInally. Lawrence Taylor, a sensational rookie year out of North Carolina for the New York Giants. He's with Russ Francis. Russ?
Well, thanks, Al. Lawrence, you had a great year. You're here in Hawaii. Are you having fun?
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. There's a lot of excitement here and a lot of nice people to meet, and it's just a pretty country. I like being over here.
Well, thank you very much. People in Hawaii have watched you all year long. You've been exciting. And you say that you're finishing up your schooling. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm down at Chapel Hill, finish up my degree. I'd like to say hello to Dr. Sessom, Mr. Gittleson, and Lee Meyer. I'd like to say hello to y'all. And well, I'm having a nice time, and Carolina's is a real nice school and place I like to be, and that's where everything's happening. Also, I'd like to say hello to my mom, and my father and all New York Giants fans.
Well, you got off to a great start. Continued congratulations from everybody, and have a great season next year.
Hey, thank you.
Al and Francis, up to you.
All right, Russ. Meanwhile, the NFC almost striking again as Bartkowski went deep for Jenkins. Covered on the play by Mel Blount, who makes his way back. And it'll be second down.
All right, there goes Alfred Jenkins again, trying to get the big ball of Mel Blount, but many have tried against Mel Blount, and few have succeeded. He goes up, times his jump just right, knocks it down.
On second down, Lofton, the intended receiver, some mistiming there. Hayes covering on the play, and the pass going behind him.
And they got Lester Hayes, I believe. Did they get him for pass interference? No, they're just marking him going out of bounds. Lester had a hand on Lofton, but the referees didn't think it was interference, and so be it.
So a couple of incompletions. Third down and 10.
There's just not many receivers wide open today. These defensive backs are all over the offensive receivers. Have won the matchup today. Obvious pass situation.
Third and 10 with Jenkins split left and Lofton split right. Sole running back is Rogers. Steve Bartkowski throwing low at the 35-yard line. Gary Green covering on the play.
And he threw low, and it's a good thing he did again, because if he throws where he should have thrown it, Gary Green would have intercepted it, and he had a clear field to run for a possible touchdown.
So it's been a game of turnovers and punts. And we'll see Skladany kicking it away again with 9:36 remaining in the third quarter. NFC on top 6-0. Carl Roach is averaging better than 7.5 yards for a run back this season. As Skladany angles it. He dropped one out on the 8 before, but this time he misses the corner. Barely going into the end zone before going out. And they'll take it out at the 20-yard line. And a penalty marker down at the AFC 43-yard line. Red Cashin, the referee.
Ineligible downfield, number 45 of the kickers.
They will decline that, I would think.
Red Cashin, John Keck, Sid Seaman,
Number
Dick McKenzie.
45 of the kickers was ineligible down the field. Penalty is refused. It's a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 20.
Roy Clymer, Jones, Pat Millett, the officiating crew.
How about
that kind of day, 85 degrees.
Well, here we crank it up again. Dan Fouts now is going to try his hand at it, see if he can get the offense going.
1st and 10 from the 20. Campbell. Earl getting 4 yards out to the 24-yard line. Leroy Stillman in on the tackle.
I guess what we're learning today, Al, if you can have a Pro Bowl defensive backfield, you can stop the passing games of the National Football League team.
It's interesting, the contrast of the way it's gone the past few years. Occasionally a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
Last year, very low scoring. This year, low scoring.
Like most of pro football, there ain't a lot of rhyme or reason.
On 2nd and 6, Faust for his teammate Winslow.
And he picked it off the ground. What a catch by Winslow.
Beautiful. The two Chargers working their way out for a 1st down.
You know, the tight end position has changed a lot, too. Now you've got tight ends like a Winslow that can run. I mean, really have tremendous speed. Blocking is not near as important at the tight end position today as it was 4 or 5 years ago. Number one thing you look for in a tight end now is a receiver. Number two thing is a blocker. It used to be the reverse of that. Winslow's first break of the day.
On 1st down, it's Campbell breaking out to the 39-yard line and taking Taylor with him for a gain of close to 8. Campbell finishing 2nd in the league overall this year to only Rogers.
Hello.
That man likes offense.
He's got yeah. He knows everything happens in the 4th quarter. He's going to wait a while.
On 2nd and 2, no flags and incomplete. Roynell Young back covering.
You know, the defensive backs have gone up this year. It's something a little different years before. Back to a bump and run. Now, bump and run was used back in the early days of the AFL. And it was a very effective thing, but they could have, didn't have the pass coverages to have now. But it was, they're doing it effectively today.
Offsides by the defense in the middle of the line. First down.
There was some jumping. Initially, there was no flag, and we got a late penalty. And a first down out to the 44-yard line.
Big drive. Rub that lotion on.
Earl Campbell to the 47-yard line. Fred Dean among those surrounding him. 6-0, the NFC on top. Again, pointed out earlier, $5,000 to each winning player, $2,500 to the loser. I guess in a close game in the fourth quarter, you start to think to yourself, hey.
Well, it might pay for a few extra dinners over here or something.
About 4. On second down and 6.
He's got him open.
Largent down the far sideline and out of bounds at the 18-yard line. So Steve Largent of the Seattle Seahawks works himself free.
He does indeed, and Dan Fouts delivered a strike. Watch Largent just go out to the sideline. It is zone on that side of the field. He gets in between the safety man Finsick and the cornerback Roynell Young, makes the catch, goes down the sideline, 19-yard line. Good play, and we haven't had many of them.
So the AFC tries to cash in after a 35-yard pickup. Good drives, few and far between for the AFC thus far today. 2 missed field goal opportunities, and that's it. And one of them a long effort from 52 yards. So they've rarely been close. At the 18-yard line, it's Earl Campbell with a big hole inside the 10 and down to the 2 for a first and goal.
Oh, what a truck. And Gary Finsick made a pretty good play there to save a touchdown. How'd you like to be down there about 195 pounds looking at Earl Campbell coming right at you, and here you'll see what it's like for Mr. Finsick, 45. He'll get in there and make the tackle from the side, and if he'd have been head on, I doubt if he'd have been able to make the tackle. It was the only angle he had.
This drive beginning back at the 20-yard line after Sladany's punt had gone into the end zone, and the AFC now with a first and goal at the 2. With Winslow in motion. They pitch it to Muncy. And Chuck has it to tie it up. Earl Campbell out in front of Muncy and helping to clear a path for him.
And who said Earl Campbell couldn't block? I did. Now let's watch and see if Earl does block. He doesn't have to do this very often. He's the one carrying the mail. But Earl Campbell, 34, is out in front, blocking on Roynell Young. He does enough. He gets him out of the way. Muncy scores. Pretty good job.
With a field job. Chuck Muncy, the MVP in this game 2 years ago. Now Nick Lowry to try to give the AFC the lead, but no.
I'll tell you, we've had, 1 short field goal try, 2 extra points, and we've had mishandled snaps. We've had extra points blocked, field goals missed.
And with 6:31 to go in the third, we're tied at 6.
I've had to write some tough things about some tough guys. But there's one guy I can't write anything bad about. His unique brand of baseball has made him a living legend. So have his commercials. They got me to try his favorite beer, light beer from Miller. Light's less filling and it really tastes great. So I bought this light for that renowned yet humble man, Marv Throner.
Cheer up, Billy. One day you'll be famous just like me.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Let's watch the muff again on an extra point. We'll watch the snap. Snap is a little bit to the right, but the holder still should have fielded the ball. The kicker then almost misses it. And he does miss it to the left, but he almost missed the ball entirely.
Mike Webster snapping and Steve Largent holding, so we're tied 6-6. Interestingly enough, last year, the kicking game a whole lot different. Ed Murray of Detroit was the MVP in the game with 4 field goals. And an extra point.
You know, Largent, who's got wonderful hands, great receiver, has really dropped 2 snaps from center. And Lowry really hasn't had much of a chance.
Lowry to kick. Milnes from the 11-yard line out to the 20 and brought down at the 25-yard line. Ed Newman of the Dolphins, number 64, making the stop. 6 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the period. The number is on the AFC scoring drive.
Yes, sir. 7 plays, 80 yards. That's a big drive today. And Dan Fouts got the drive going. Earl Campbell, Chuck Muncie, both very effective running the ball. The big pass to Steve Largent that set up the touchdown run by Muncie.
NFC at the 26-yard line. Steve Bartkowski of the Falcons is the quarterback. He gives it to Sims, who takes it out to the 26-yard line. Well, another man going into the Hall of Fame, Doug Atkins, the former Bear defensive end. Let's check in with Lynn Swann.
Doug, you played 17 years, 12 with Chicago. Great years. How'd you last for 17 years in this league?
Well, back when I was playing, we didn't make quite the money they do now, and we didn't have anything else to do, so you just had to continue playing as long as you could. Got in the habit of eating, and you couldn't get out of it.
Do you think the ball players can play 17 years now?
Oh, I think the ball players are much larger, and they're stronger, and the playing conditions better. I'm sure they can if they want to.
Can you tell me briefly, how does it feel to be selected for the Hall of Fame?
Meanwhile, Swanee will get back in a moment as the AFC with the interception at midfield, and the play whistle dead at the 46-yard line. Ted Hendricks getting back there as we have another look.
Here's Bartkowski going back. It's going to be an interesting interception, and then it will be a lateral. Here's Bartkowski throwing down the field. Hendricks reaches up, all 6'7" of him. Then he tries to lateral, but his knees were already on the ground. Good call by the officials.
The play whistle dead at that spot as Ted Hendricks in his 6th Pro Bowl picks one off at the 47-yard line. So the AFC tied with the NFC as Ken Anderson is at the helm from the 47-yard line. To Delaney of Kansas City. And out of bounds at the 49. All right, let's check in with Doug Atkins again and Lynn Swann.
Briefly, Doug, can you tell us what it means to you to have been selected to the Hall of Fame?
Well, it's a great honor, and it makes everything worthwhile. You know, after you play 17 years, it really helps to receive an award like it. It makes it all worthwhile.
A mountain of a man from Humboldt, Tennessee. Thank you much, Doug. Al?
All right, Lynn, you talk about a moose.
I've played against Doug Atkins, and he's the biggest man I've ever played against, and many times I've seen him hurdle a blocker, because he's a high jump champion down at the University of Tennessee in his college days. He's some player.
On 2nd down and 8 from the 50-yard line. Anderson getting blindsided and sacked at the 40-yard line as Leroy Selman came charging through.
His 3rd sack. He is just absolutely running circles around Leon Gray, who's trying futilely to block him, but he runs circles around a lot of people. Pretty good player, Leroy Selman. About as good as there is at that position.
Pretty much the way Mr. Atkins used to do it. You really realize how big Doug Atkins is when you look down at the field when they introduced the 4 Hall of Fame members to the crowd here, and Atkins made Merlin Olsen look like a dwarf.
Yeah, Merlin Olsen, 6'5", 250. I'd say the AFC is a little bit dominant in the statistics in this game, but only a 1-point lead.
On 3rd and long, game is tied right now.
Only a tie game. That's right. I forgot Largent dropped that.
That's right.
Snap from center, and Lowry hooked it to the left.
Little Polynesian paralysis setting in.
Yes.
What they call it over here. On a little capacity crowd, 50,402. Game locked up 6-6. By the way, they do play overtime in the Pro Bowl.
I'm sure the players would love that.
Oh, yeah. Nelms back to receive for the NFC. Pat McInally accepting the snap. A boomer. Nelms from the 5. Out to the 10. to the 20. And a good run back to the 27-yard line. A 53-yard kick and a 22-yard return. Randy Gradishar of the Broncos making the stop. 4 minutes to play. Third quarter. We're tied 6-6.
I do one thing. I kick this ball through those two poles. Do one thing all the time. You get to be great. Like Kentucky Fried Chicken. They don't try to do everything. Just chicken, and no one else does it tender and juicy the Colonel's way.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do it right for you.
I do kicking right, they do chicken right.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken right.
Now you can get on the Sports Beat every week. ABC Sports Beat next Sunday on ABC.
Pro Bowl third quarter, tied 6-6. The NFC with Joe Montana back in at quarterback, starting this drive from the 27-yard line. Sims and Rogers are the running backs, and George Rogers gets it out to the 34-yard line for a gain of close to 7. A reminder, tomorrow on ABC's World News Tonight, Pierre Salinger will continue his investigation with an exclusive report on how the Italian police beat the Red Brigade terrorists and rescued General James Dozier. Pierre, of course, had the inside story last year on the hostage negotiations. Some exclusive and some fascinating information coming up in the report tomorrow on ABC World News Tonight. Second down and a long 3 from the 34-yard line. Tony Dorsett looking for the first down and pushed back.
Don't think he made it. Montana trying to get a little running game going here to slow down the pass rush of the AFC. They just haven't been able to do much offensively with the NFC. AFC, on the other hand, up and down the field, but not many points.
Third and a yard with under 3 minutes to go in the period, and the double tight end set up for the NFC. Jimmy Giles on the left side and Junior Miller on the right. They're going to go to the air. Montana, if he can, losing the ball. It's a live ball, and it's Gastineau.
He scored.
Who is out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Out at the 1.
They didn't give it to him. I thought he might have scored some play. Montana got hit from the back. It was a fumble. His arm wasn't going forward. And they did not give him a touchdown. He said he went out of bounds on the half-yard line. Gastineau made some kind of play. Here we are from the end zone now. He fakes to Dorsett. Wants to go downfield. Watch from his left. Montana's going to scramble out. He gets hit from the back by Klecko. And then Gastineau picks up the ball. And the New York Jets had a big hand in this. Almost touched. I thought he scored.
Looks like it.
I mean, I thought he scored. He said he went out of bounds on the half-yard line.
Should be academic with the men they have in the backfield right now.
Well, they got Pete Johnson and Earl Campbell. Yeah. Take your choice.
If you can't get it in 4 downs, you don't deserve it. Campbell.
He's in.
He's in for the touchdown, and the AFC has the lead.
Have set up 2 of the 3 touchdowns, but that's kind of how it is during the season, too.
Touchdown.
Penalty against the NFC decline. 7 turnovers in the game.
I'm already here. We hear you. Yep. Mark Gastineau.
The AFC on top for the first time today. So here's Lowry and Largent. This is quite an act today.
Let's check it out now.
Mike Webster of Pittsburgh to do the snapping. Snaps good. Holds good. Yes.
They can do it. They can do it. Yes, sir. Well, you know, up in Seattle, they fake so many field goals.
Sure.
Patera fakes a lot of field goals, and they have runs and reverses and all kind of passing off of it. I guess Largent really was used to that.
Sure.
Used to putting it down.
Still wants to know where Efren is.
Yeah.
2:18 remaining in the third period. AFC on top, trying to win the Pro Bowl for the first time in 5 cracks. Mammoth scoring drive right there.
Well, they kept the ball 4 seconds. That's pretty good.
Actually, it was a half a yard.
Well, give Joe Klecko the biggest part of the credit, because he's the guy that shook Montana loose of the ball, bounced up in Gastineau's hand, and he carried it on from there.
Very similar to what happened during the regular season, of course, with the New York Jets.
They really did. Their front four was dominating this year. In an age when linebackers are starting to dominate defenses, Al, with the 3-man line, the 4 linebackers, you have a Lawrence Taylor with the Giants. They're one of the few teams where the front 4 still is intact and still dominates.
Lowry's kick. Nelms moves over to the 6-yard line. Gets it out to the 20. And brings it now to the 27-yard line. So with that much time remaining in the third period, the NFC taking over at the 27-yard line. There's a penalty flag back at the 35-yard line. Somebody may have come across the line before Lowry put it in the air.
Probably offsides. I would think nobody wants to accept. The AFC say refuse it, because they don't want to cover the kickoff again.
Right.
Offside on the kick, number 31 of the kickers. Penalty is declined. It's first down.
You called it.
That is funny. That is funny. Please, guys, refuse this penalty. The same guys that are recovering are probably down playing defense. One time down is enough. All right, Joe Montana.
Montana on first down from the 28-yard line. Flushed out of the pocket and throwing incomplete, intended for Billy Sims. Covered on the play by Gary Green, number 24.
The play started off rather bad. I think Montana expected Sims to come in and fake, and he didn't, and it just wasn't coordinated very well. And they got incompletion.
Get a group of guys together, you have a week with them, you really have to simplify the things offensively in a sense, and at least in terms of the language.
Well, sometimes you say Earl Campbell off tackle left, Earl off tackle right. I'm going to throw to you, Dwight, out there 10 yards on the left. It's kind of barnyard football.
On 2nd and 10 to the 27. Montana under a lot of heat, and down he goes. Ball coming loose, but after the whistle at the 18-yard line, buried by Klecko.
Klecko again, but all 4 defensive linemen were in there that time. Big Hands Johnson was in and got the pressure up the middle. It's Art Still from the outside. Klecko got the sack.
At the 18-yard line, need to move it out to the 38. Steve Bartkowski of the Falcons, who along with Montana has been quarterbacking the NFC, looking on. 3rd down, 19 from just outside the 18-yard line. Montana trying to set up the screen, and it's read perfectly. George Rogers making the catch, and Bob Swenson coming in.
Bob Swenson's been an unheralded linebacker. You know, at Denver, a lot of them have got more publicity than he has. Gradishar, and they've been good. Jackson's up there, but Swenson, day in, day out, is as good a linebacker as Denver has, and an excellent player.
Swenson and Gradishar both AFC representatives. That's Carl Roaches standing at his own 46-yard line. Tom Skladany of the Lions to kick it out of the end zone. Low kick, and on the run it's Roaches from the NFC 46, circling back, and down he goes at the 50-yard line. It's Lawrence Taylor who came flying down to make the tackle.
I cannot believe how fast Lawrence Taylor could run. Roaches had the corner made. Lawrence Taylor comes out of nowhere from the inside, pulls him down with one hand. It shows something of the caliber play that Lawrence Taylor has been giving you the entire year.
Lawrence Taylor, a rookie. We've got a few of them in the game. Everson Walls, key interception in the first half. Ronnie Lott, of course, sensational year. George Rogers.
Chris Collinsworth.
Collinsworth.
Yeah, a lot of, more than I can remember in a long time.
Joe Delaney of Kansas City. On first down from the 49, Fouts has a lot of time and then loses the ball, but picks it back up and is dropped at the 45-yard line. Doug English of the Lions was the man who dislodged it.
We mentioned Ed Too Tall Jones taking a year off to box a couple of years ago. Well, Doug English took last season off to drill oil wells and came back and had a great year. Here he is coming from the back of Fouts. Fouts goes back, putting his arm back. English hits his arm. They ruled it a fumble, but watch Fouts hop on it. He is tough.
At the 45-yard line, second down, call it 16. And the AFC will be content to let the clock tick down and run out. A couple of seconds remaining in the quarter. And there's the gun. So 15 minutes to go in the Pro Bowl at Honolulu after 3. It's the AFC 13 and the NFC 6. Fourth quarter in Honolulu. Al Michaels with Fran Tarkenton, Lynn Swan, and Russ Francis at the Pro Bowl. With 15 minutes to go, the AFC leading the NFC 13-6. The AFC with the ball. Second down and 16 from the 45-yard line. Dan Fouts of San Diego throwing for Watson at the 35-yard line and incomplete.
Dan didn't know which way to go that time. He was looking all over the field. Finally, he spotted Watson, but really didn't have his feet set to deliver a typical Dan Fouts type pass, and then he underthrew him. His performance in overtime, you mentioned it before, Al, against the Dolphins, was really a gutty performance. All of them were tired, and he just drove his team down the field to get the field goal to win the game. He is really a tough, tough quarterback.
Classic game. Third down, 16. And Fouts hit at the 41-yard line. Too Tall Jones, number 72, for the sack.
There again, they were all in there. Charlie Johnson, Doug English, Fred Dean has flushed him out of the pocket. Too Tall got the sack.
Pat McInally coming in to do the punting on fourth down and 20.
Well, the defensive backs have won the battle against the offensive receivers, Al, but the defensive linemen have won their battle in the trenches, too. They've really rushed the passers today.
Mike Nelms of Washington back at the 20. McInally, high kick. Nelms at the 8. Past the 20, the 30, and out to the 39-yard line, tackled by Ed Newman. A 51-yard kick, but a 31-yard run back. The kick return specialist, only representative of the Redskins here.
It's really hard to get a kick return lineup in this thing, so he just got to take what he can get. And here you just see individual effort. Breaks a few tackles in the first, gets a little seam, gets a good return. The best run back we've had all day long. That's a little Hawaiian hello.
From the 39-yard line. With a penalty marker down, Rogers takes it out to the 42. And a flag at the 40. Illegal motion initially indicating against the defense, which is impossible.
Look at the domination. Look especially at total yards. AFC 259, NFC 70 yards. NFC leads in turnovers also. You'd think it'd be a lopsided game. However, it's not. 13-6.
Illegal motion. Number 81 of the offense. Still first down.
Steve Watson was the man moving illegally. First down and 15 from the 34-yard line. Joe Montana. They're set for a couple. man who's no stranger to the Pro Bowl, of course, working with us today, Russ Francis, played in a couple of these, retired this season, surprised everybody. He's been working with us. Russ, I'm curious. You've been out a year now, and I'm curious as to what you're going to be doing next year at this time.
Are you?
Yes. Are you going to answer me?
Listen, this is Hawaii. It's tough to think about going out there and hitting yourself and getting hurt and everything when you're standing in glorious sunshine like this. But to answer your question now, when I made the decision to retire from football, I left it open whether to come back or play. I'll make that decision as the year progresses.
What do you
think, Al?
Well, as we take a look at the play, we'll get back in a moment. A fumble at the 40-yard line.
I think the NFC recovered.
They did. They did.
I've got an opinion whether Russ Francis is going to play again next year.
Yeah.
I think he's going to play.
I do, too.
I don't know where.
Well, you guys go ahead and flip the coin, and when you get an answer, let me know.
We're not
I'll go ahead and do whatever you guys want me to do.
Do you miss it? Do you miss playing?
I do. You know, Al, standing down here, Francis can tell you all the way up into the booth there, what it feels like to be down here on the field and with the contact and the noise and the grunts and the groans. Yeah, I miss all that. Everything but the pain.
Don't blame it. All right. 3rd down and 9 from the 40-yard line. Montana. Rolling to his left. He's got another marker down. Finds Dwight Clark at the 35. Clark gets brought down from behind at the 15 by Donnie Shell. But remember, a marker down back at the 34-yard line. A 45-yard pass and run.
That was a pretty play. It's going to be nullified. You know, they say Dwight Clark is not very fast, and until he catches the ball, he's not really fast. But once he catches the ball, it's like a new jet takes over, and he really takes off. That was a pretty play. Montana and Dwight Clark are getting to be quite a thing.
Each in his 3rd year in the league, each in his first Pro Bowl. Here's Red Cashin.
Holding number 67 on the offense. Still 3rd down.
Pat Donovan of Dallas. Donovan probably saying, that'll teach you guys to beat us in the championship game.
All right, let's watch this again. Here's Dwight Clark running against Mel Blount. He gets a little shove there, which he can do within 5 yards. Nothing much going. Montana now starting to scramble around. Look at that. Clark takes a dip in and out, and watch him take off right here. He really takes off. Donnie Shell gets him. Nice play.
On 3rd down and 19 from the 30-yard line. Montana, after stumbling, running out of bounds near the 40-yard line. Well shy of the 1st down. And so the AFC will get it back with 12 minutes and 12 seconds.
We're testing Jumpin' Joe's ability to scramble today because he's not getting much protection. Doing it pretty well, too. These guys really have a great time over here for the week. They bring their wives, their families, and a lot of parties for them. They get to meet each other, see each other, make new friends. It's a great week after a long, tough season.
Very few no-shows when you hold this one in Hawaii.
That's right. I might even have showed up myself.
Skladany, the kick. Long kick. Roaches from the 9. Fouled to the 20 and dropped at the 24. 52-yard punt. We've had some boomers today from Skladany and McAnally, and a 15-yard return. Exactly 12 minutes to go, and the AFC leads by a touchdown. First half of the American Conference at the 24-yard line with 12 minutes to go in the Pro Bowl. Aloha Stadium in Honolulu, over 50,000 looking on. Anderson 6 out of 10. Fouts 5 out of 11 from 96 yards. It's Anderson guiding this drive from the 24-yard line. Delaney, the Kansas City rookie, out to the 29-yard line. Fred Dean wrapping them up.
Out there, low scoring and no scoring. These guys are really playing. I watched Doug English that time from inside tackle position. There we see the bruised right knee of Gastineau. But I watched Doug English from the inside there. Here he chased the play for about 20 to 25 yards, finally got into the tackle. This is a man that's 6'5", 260 pounds, and it's hot here. some effort.
Then he hasn't played a game in 6 weeks.
That's right.
2nd down and 6 from the 28-yard line. Anderson, as he did quite often during the regular season, running to the 35-yard line and picks up the 1st down. Saw Gastineau with the ice. Bruised right knee. Report is out for the rest of the day.
You know, I don't remember when Kenny Anderson first came up running anywhere near as much as he's running now. This seemed to be a phenomenon just of this year, in fact, that he took advantage of his ability to run with the football, and it was a very effective tool in the offensive scheme of the Cincinnati Bengals.
He's had some knee problems in the past. Hurt a good part of last season. 32 years old now in his 11th year on 1st down from the 35-yard line. Going deep for Collinsworth and knocked away at the last moment by Roynell Young of the Eagles.
What a play by Roynell Young. He had to time his leap perfectly in order to prevent a touchdown or a long gain on the pass, and that he did. We talked about how great the athletes are. In the reverse angle here, watch Roynell Young in the blue jersey. Got Collinsworth covered well, but watch him go up at the right time. Knocked the ball away, did not touch him. No interference call. It's a pretty good athlete to do that.
He probably watched Eric Wright in the Super Bowl, who had Collinsworth blanketed on that 49-yard play and still couldn't stop him from catching the pass. Roynell getting a hand on it. So we're back to the 35-yard line. 2nd down and 10. 11:06 to go in the game. Anderson for Collinsworth again. Covered well. Ronnie Lott.
Now, you know, Ronnie Lott is playing the opposite cornerback that he normally plays out, and that is very difficult. And yet all day long I've been watching it in a strange position he's playing. He's covered everybody well. The reason it's so hard, they have to adjust their feet differently, and it's just a much harder read for him and an adjustment for him. Same thing can go to the left defensive end to right defensive end. They stagger different legs and push off of different feet and different, as they make their move.
3rd down and 10 from the 35-yard line. It's Winslow to the 48-yard line and a 1st down. Kellen Winslow, 6'5", 242, 3rd year out of Missouri. Dwight Hicks of the 49ers making the tackle. Don Shula seeking his 3rd career Pro Bowl victory.
I played in his 1st career Pro Bowl victory. I was a backup to a quarterback by the name of Johnny Unitas. No, it's Unitas. Unitas is his name.
Heard of him.
Wore big high tops.
1st down from the 48-yard line. It's Pete Johnson going nowhere. AFC on top. 13-6.
Much was written during Super Bowl week about the role Bill Walsh had in developing Ken Anderson, Joe Montana, Dan Fouts. And long before I ever met Bill Walsh, I always thought he was the best quarterback teacher in the game of football. And I think it's been proven out now that he certainly is. There's something to being able to teach a quarterback how to play once he gets up here, because most of the guys have all the skills to be good players.
On 2nd down and 11, Anderson sacked back at the 39. Leroy Selman again. He's had quite a day.
And Randy White also had a hand in that. Many times the guy that gets the sack for the other guy, like Randy White did there, he flushed him out of the pocket. And Selman got the sack.
Back at the 40-yard line. 3rd down. 20 coming up. Talking about Bill Walsh. Interesting, of course, he was an assistant with the Bengals, passed over for the head job, then went to San Diego as an assistant for 1 year. Then 2 years at Stanford. Some people forget that, but when he was with the Cardinals, he had probably the most imaginative, innovative offense in college football in 77 and 78. Anderson to the sideline to Lewis at the 40-yard line. He's got it at the 41. Frank Lewis, there's a fellow who's been in the league a long time and finally gets to play in a Pro Bowl game. Number 82 from the Buffalo Bills, 11 years in the league out of Grambling. Pro Bowl number 1 for him.
Came up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They then traded him to Buffalo when the Steelers got receivers like Stallworth and Swan. Here he is. Good, solid receiver for a long, long time. Knows how to keep those feet in bounds, too. He's done that a few times.
3 yards shy of the first, so the AFC to kick. McAnally will try to angle it. NFC dropping Nelms back. McAnally shooting for the corner. And at the 3-yard line, getting down in a hurry to down it, Gary Green, who was the outside man, went flying down to down it inside the 5. 38-yard punt, 8:55 to go, and the AFC leading the NFC by 7. Just a few clouds hovering above the mountains. Look out past Aloha Stadium in Honolulu, the Pro Bowl, with 8:55 remaining in the game. AFC on top, 13-6. The NFC with the ball at the 5-yard line. Steve Bartkowski, incomplete, looking for Alfred Jenkins of the Falcons.
And he had his teammate open, but you could tell that Bart's been off for about 6 weeks, and hard to get that arm back in shape after just 1 week of work. And he does have an arm. He even has an arm and a half.
Or 7/8. Guys starting to get a little tired right now, obviously. It's hot. Hottest part of the day normally here. Hours between noon and 2. It's about 10:02 in Hawaii. 2nd down and 10. Gastineau back in the game. Initially they said he was out for the rest of the day, and we nearly have a safety. Gastineau smelling the potential safety. The AFC thinks it should be called that way. And the officials confer. Where did they get him? No, they say.
Well, it comes down to just strict judgment on the officials' part, and theirs as good as anybody's. They're right down on top of the play, but that... Watch it here. It's a draw play. Dorsett back in the end zone. He got 1 foot in the end zone, maybe 1 foot on the playing field, but they don't give him the safety anyway. Gastineau came back and became a hero once again. Came from the knee injury onto the turf.
3rd down, 14.
Bartkowski saying, now what?
And a fumble at the 2-yard line. NFC has it. So the AFC nearly gets a safety, nearly gets a recovery at the 2, but the NFC will be able to kick it away. We think. Slovenia's not going to have much room.
No, he's not. But they won't block a punt in this game.
Now that you've said that.
Watch it happen.
Yeah.
I also said they scored a lot of points in this game.
Well, we still have 7:20 to go, Fran.
Yeah.
13-6. AFC on top. Randy Cross of the 49ers, who normally is a guard, will do the snapping for Skladany.
Hendricks almost blocked it.
Good kick to the 47. Roaches across the 50 and run out of bounds at the 42 after a 51-yard kick. So Skladany backed up with no room at all. Gets off another beauty. 6:56 remaining in the game. AFC with the ball and the lead. In the Pro Bowl, the AFC leading 13-6, and with under 7 minutes to go, probably try to chew up some of the clock as they have it at the NFC 41-yard line. Dan Fouts leading this drive. Campbell and Muncie are the split backs. They won't chew the clock up. Going to the air instead, and Muncie can't hang on. Sam Huff will be going into the Hall of Fame. He'll be inducted in August. He's here with Russ Francis.
Well, I'm standing here, Al, with a gentleman that I greatly admire, Mr. Sam Huff, a great middle linebacker, one of the original middle linebackers of the New York Giants. You've won many honors, Sam. How does this count? How do you feel about this one?
Well, I'll tell you, Russ, this is the last hurrah, you know, the NFL Hall of Fame. It's something you always dream about making, but you never really think you have a chance, and I'm just so proud. It's been the greatest week of my life. I'm just so happy that I finally made it.
Great.
On second down, 10. Throw off to Muncie, and a penalty flag is thrown as Chuck gets to the 40-yard line. Go back to Russ.
Well, Sam, you know, you were one of the more intense players and more aggressive players playing at that time at middle linebacker. How has the game changed? And as you mentioned earlier as we were talking, it's a lot different being right down here on the field.
Well, it really is, Russ. You know, a lot of times you forget about how much contact there is in this game. When you get down here, you realize there's still a lot of contact in the game. But it's changed a lot because now it's so technical, and with the passing game that Pete Rozelle made out of it, a linebacker, if he makes a great hit, a second down and 10, he's now out of the game. So I said the other day that if I was still playing, I'd let the back gain 4, so it'd be 2nd and 6, so I'd get to play the second down.
Well, congratulations from all of us.
Thank you, Russ. Nice to be with you.
Thank you. Glad I didn't have to.
Yep, we've met the 4 men going in. Meanwhile, a penalty on the last play for offside against the AFC at the 40-yard line on 3rd down and 9. Fouts protected well this time, but has it picked off at the 25-yard line by Everson Walls.
Everson Walls.
Second interception of the day for the man who led the league as a rookie in interceptions with 11.
He is uncanny. There's Larger running this pattern down the field on Ronnie Lott. Ronnie Lott's got good coverage on him. Everson Walls now is coming off of whoever he was covering and makes the play. That's twice he's done that today. Tremendous instinct for knowing where the ball's going to be.
So 11 during
81,
the regular season,
and 2 during 82. That's, well, maybe he had some of the playoffs too that we're not counting, but that's 13 that we can count here.
NFC, that's the 8th turnover in the game. From the 27-yard line, it's Bartkowski for Jenkins. Has him out at the 48-yard line. And the 2 Steelers converge to knock him down. Donnie Shell and Mel Blunt.
Well, Bartkowski's got the kind of arm that can get him back in the game very quickly. He's got a strong, strong arm. As we'll take a look at the reverse angle, Bartkowski's getting some of the cobwebs out after 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Throws a strike to his old teammate Jenkins, all 160 pounds of him.
Seventh year out of Morris Brown, one of 7 Falcons in the game. 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Bartkowski, the short drop, and incomplete.
Trying to hit Junior Miller, Al, a teammate of his, and Junior Miller really didn't have the year this year that he had his rookie year. He only caught 32 balls, blocked well for him, but they didn't use him in their offensive scheme very much. A big, big talent.
Miller is the only substitute in this game. Of the 80 men named, only 1 couldn't make it. That was Joe Sensor of the Minnesota Vikings, the tight end. He was injured, and so Miller took his place.
And I'm sure Joe Sensor would have loved to have been here. He had a great year for the Vikings, been his first Pro Bowl. Only 2nd year of the list.
On 2nd and 10, Bartkowski trying to find Jenkins again and let him too much. Again, it's Blunt and Shell from the Steelers, the coverage.
They're trying to double Alford there, and Alford had him beat again, and Bart just couldn't get it to him.
.543 remaining in the game. AFC on top. 13-6 in the Pro Bowl at Honolulu. 3rd down and 10 from the 47. Bartkowski complete, and a flag is thrown at the 36-yard line. Giles making the catch.
Jimmy Giles, the Tampa Bay Bucks, and I think that's going to be a defensive pass interference penalty. The game should stay.
Pass interference. Number 24 on the defense. Penalty is declined. 1st down.
Gary Green, the man. Coming up next, except on the West Coast, you'll be seeing Code Red, followed by today's FBI and the ABC Sunday night movie, Slapshot, starring Paul Newman. That's next, except on the West Coast. On the West Coast, coming up next, the Superstar. First down from the 36-yard line. Bartkowski looking for James Lofton of Green Bay, and incomplete, and fighting the sun. Gary Green back there covering.
The defensive backs once again are amazing. Watch Lofton here trying to go outside to get down the field on Gary Green. Cuts back inside, but he cannot find anywhere to run. Gary Green just blanketed him again, and we've seen that all day long by all of these cornerbacks on the premier receivers in the world. Boy, we've seen good cornerback play. And James Lofton can run as well as anybody. Couldn't get open.
2nd and 10 from the 36.
With reverse.
Dorsett faking the reverse.
Watch out.
Inside the 30. Tony inside the 20 and dragged down by Donnie Shell at the 17-yard line.
What a play by Donnie Shell. How would you like to be one-on-one with Tony D? My goodness. Donnie Shell, he's faking him inside, outside. Double stepping him, triple stepping him. Watch this. They're going to fake the reverse. The pitch back to Dorsett. He fakes to Lofton. Then he turns it on as only he can do. Watch the speed. Watch him accelerate. And then Donnie Shell gets there. And party's over.
17-yard line. 1st and 10 for the NFC. They trail by 7. Trying to thread his way through is Tony this time, and he gets a couple.
Now, that was the most delayed draw I think I've ever seen. It was a draw, and Tony D got it and said, I don't know where to go.
Second down, 8. Shula's club on top, but tenuously at this point.
And they got a fresh back in the game. Number 20, Billy Sims. Not a bad fresh back to have in there.
Bartkowski throwing it out of the end zone for Jimmy Giles.
And Jimmy Giles is open again, but old Bart's timing just isn't there. He needs to throw it a hair quicker because Giles is running out of end zone. Here we go. Bart's going back. Pretty good protection now. The defensive linemen are getting a little worn down from all the rushing they've done today. Bart throws it a little late. He throws a strike, but not soon enough.
Out by plenty.
Yep.
Jimmy contesting the call for seeking interference. He wasn't close on either count. 3rd down and 8 from the 15.
Bartkowski. Lofton. No deal.
So it's 4th down coming up. Lester Hayes back with him, and Septien is going to come in to perhaps try to tack on 3 unless they go to the gadget.
Well, I'm a little surprised they're not trying to go on and score. 3:47, 7 points down. Now they're going to take a timeout and talk about it.
As is the case in the regular season, 3 timeouts per half. That's their first. 3:47 to go. 4th down upcoming, and the AFC on top by 7. Beautiful day weather-wise.
It really has. An NFC now has got a 4th down and 8. Kind of a last hurrah for them here, and could tie it up if they can convert.
Again, as is the case in the regular season, you go into overtime, and as is the case in a playoff game, they can play forever. Sudden death. 4th down. After they had set in Septien initially, they'll go for it from the 15-yard line. Bartkowski stepping up, has some room inside the 5-yard line, and a 1st down. So Bartkowski able to step up as they converge from the outside. Had a lot of open space and exploits it.
And you won't see that often. During 16 regular season games, Bartkowski ran only 11 times for, I think, a half-yard average for a rush.
So on a 4th down play, he picks up the first. Clock running with 3:05 remaining. Rafael Septien hopeful of getting on for what would be the tying extra point.
And they're taking a lot of time in the huddle when they do that. Normally it's a pass. Let's see.
Lofton split to the right on 1st down from inside the 5. They pitch it to Dorsett. Back of Sims, who lays down a nice block and gets him in there.
Billy Sims did give him a good block. And he turned the corner. Man, when he turns the corner, I don't know of anybody that I've ever seen turn the corner as quick as he can. Well, you might think we'd have as we look at the end zone replay here, Tony gets a block right there by Dorsett on Swinson or by Sims in for the touchdown. You would think that we'd have an automatic tie game here, but the extra point has not been automatic.
Anything but. Different snapper, different holder, different kicker. You've got Cromwell of the Rams holding for Septien.
All right.
And we're tied. 2 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. As the NFC on a drive led by Bartkowski, who picks up the key 1st down on 4th and 8 from the 15, tying it up at 13 all.
Third and 8, and Bartkowski runs for 10. Now, what are the odds of that ever happening? Just no odds.
After they had sent in Septien initially and then called the timeout. Figured they would go for it.
Well, it's been an unpredictable season, so I guess it goes right along with it.
No field goals today. 2 touchdowns for each side. A couple of missed extra points.
All right, here goes Bartkowski back. You see the 4 men rushing. They cannot blitz. They peel him out of there. Got nothing but green turf in front of him. No players show up at all on the AFC side of it. They're downfield covering the pass. Bartkowski had an easy run down to the 5.
So Shula's AFC troops will get the ball back and try to at least get into field goal range. They have all of their timeouts remaining.
Now the run doesn't hurt the quarterback. It's the sudden stop that gets to you.
At the end. To the 3-yard line. It's Roaches out to the 10, to the 20, and they'll start from the 26-yard line. Gary Fensick of the Bears making the tackle. TD.
Cool down, Tony. Cool down. His feet are smoking too. Put out the fire.
74 yards in just under 4 minutes with Dorsett capping it. 2:34 remaining. Game tied at 13. And Fouts, the quarterback, giving it to Campbell. Earl to the outside. And shoved down at the 29-yard line by Lawrence Taylor.
I mean, Lawrence Taylor met Earl Campbell head on head. What a collision that was, and Lawrence Taylor didn't give an inch. 2 giants, I'm telling you.
Clock stop, 2:27.
Watch here. Here's Campbell. Lawrence Taylor, right hand up. Look at his head snap back, but he didn't give anything.
On 2nd and 7. Fouts. Incomplete. Intended for Ozzie Newsome out at the 41, but we've got a flag.
Got a flag for pass interference. I think it was called against Cromwell. Could have been called against Blair. But that is the call.
So it'll be a 1st down. close to the 41-yard line.
All right, let's watch the end of the play right here at the top of the screen. That's what they're... Yep. They must have called it on Blair at the end. We couldn't quite tell what it was.
Contact. Number 59 on the defense. First down.
That's the man, Matt Blair. Crowd doesn't like the call. They're rooting for either team. I would think they're rooting for the NFC, judging by the crowd pattern today. 35-yard line. Campbell, we've got another flag. Yep. There was movement in the line prior to the snap. Earl out to the 41-yard line.
I would think that's probably a good observation out there. I know there are a lot of 49er fans over here.
Exactly.
I was over here for Super Bowl Sunday, and a lot of people here for the 49ers.
Exactly. There's a great affinity for several reasons with San Francisco. Geographically, it's close, obviously. People from the Bay Area making their home here, vacationing here a lot. And they really sort of adopted the 49ers, and not just recently. They're not fair weather fans. It's always been a 49er type of situation here, rooting for San Francisco.
On the defense, still first down.
All right, this telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited.
That's incredible. First down from the 40-yard line. Bounce to Watson.
What a move by Steve Watson. What a move. He was covered. He got open somehow. He got way open. I'm impressed with Steve Watson.
And the clock has run down to the 2-minute warning as the AFC tries to get into a situation where they can win it on a field goal. 2 minutes to go, and we're tied 13-13. First and 10 for the American Conference at the 44-yard line. With bounce and charge.
What a
pass to Newsome at the 37. He was wrapped up by Matt Blair and held on.
I'll tell you, Dan Fouts in this situation is TUF tough.
Gain of 8.
He just sometimes wills the ball to a receiver. He finds a way to get it there. He fights off the rush, whatever it takes.
Second down and a short 2. And it's Campbell through the middle. And he picks up the first down and gets it to the 28 as they move into field goal range. Thank our spotter, Steve Bazika from Canton, Ohio. Researcher, statistician, Jerry Klein. All the guys on the crew drawing tough duty.
Yeah. They really didn't want to come out here.
Yeah, I know it. They're going to stop the clock here with 1:19. Caught a glimpse of Lowry, who's going to atone for what's happened before with a potential game-winning field goal. Right now they are in field goal range at the 29-yard line. You're talking about a 46-yard attempt.
Yep, that's about right. I would sure Lowry would like to get a little closer than that, but it's certainly within his range.
And they've got time to get it closer, and they've got a first down.
So with all that going for them, you would think, how they might get it closer.
Absolutely.
Hey.
But then again, on any given Sunday, right? You got to close the year with the #1 cliche of all time, right?
That's right.
This is the last football game for 6 months.
On any given Sunday, Cincinnati and San Francisco might play for the Super Bowl.
You never know. Or the Pro Bowl could go into overtime.
All right. Dan Fouts has got it figured out. He's trying to give a few words back to Earl Campbell. Not a bad choice just to give it to him. And he did.
And he only gets a yard or 2.
Randy White was at the bottom of that, and he stopped it from going any farther.
Put it down at the 28-yard line. Pickup of 1. Campbell goes out, and Muncie comes in, and the clock is running with 1:02, 1:01, and now exactly a minute to play.
Well, we don't need to make this as dramatic as a regular season game, but they do want to use all the clock and leave no time for the NFC to come back, even if they attempt a field goal or a touchdown.
On 2nd and 9, Fouts has Winslow wide open inside the 10, and Killen gets to the 5-yard line.
I'll I'll tell you, that Winslow is something else.
Bouncing Winslow, who did it all season long for San Diego, picking up the first down here with 40 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, and the AFC has just taken another timeout.
I think they've got a pretty decent chance of breaking the 4-year jinx of the NFC in the Pro Bowl.
Been that long. NFC has won 4 straight, 6 out of 7. Winslow, by the way, has now caught 6 passes today for a total of 86 yards.
During the course of the season, to show his versatility, he also threw 2 passes. Didn't complete either one.
His 6 catches, by the way, ties a Pro Bowl record, most receptions in a game. John Stallworth of the Steelers caught 6 2 years ago. First down, goal to go at the 5. Campbell and Muncie are the running backs. Chuck Muncie can't turn it in and gets bumped out of bounds at the 6-yard line on a play that ate up only 4 seconds.
Everson Walls, number 24, not only can defend against passes, he came up and put a big hit on Muncie to keep him from scoring. How was Everson Walls? Was he a free agent this year? We said a low draft choice. He's either a low draft choice or a free agent.
Walls out of Grambling.
We know that. Jerry Klein, you ought to know that. Was he a free agent or a low draft pick? Had to be one or the other.
On second and goal, it is Johnson, at least keeping it in front of the goalpost, if nothing else. And they may stop the clock, and they do, with 29 seconds.
I would think Shula might want to try to score. They've had trouble with these extra points.
You don't know, sure.
Goals. Remember in that tremendous playoff game between San Diego and Miami that went into overtime, there were about 3 field goals missed there at the end of the game and 2 in overtime. They could have won.
Exactly. Just checked it out on Walls for you. Free agent. You're right.
I thought maybe free agent. Dallas has a way of doing that, don't they? They go out. Gil Brandt doesn't do a bad job there. He's been doing it for about 20 years.
Man does his homework.
He gets free agents out of nowhere that come out to be big stars in the National Football League.
Meanwhile, the AFC has let the clock run down to 6 seconds, and they've called a timeout to attempt a game-winning field goal. As they let the clock run down to 6, it's Lowry to try to win it.
And they're trying to, they're having trouble getting the right number of people on the field.
Yep, Dean just now running off as Largent gets set to hold. Webster to do the snapping, and it should be easy for Lowry.
Here we go.
We'll see. 23-yarder, straight ahead.
He made it.
He did. Nick Lowry of Kansas City.
That's a great sight right there. Did you see Jack Lambert come back? He was blocking for the field goal. He runs back. He hugs Lowry like it's the biggest game in the world. Don't tell me these guys don't care or don't want to win. They do. And they're excited. It's a great finish to their trip, and it takes a little luster off the players from the NFC's trip. They've had a great time, but not to win. It hits a little bit hard to them.
Sure, you get down into a close game like this. A few seconds remaining. $2,500 difference per man. Kellen Winslow, the key catch on the drive. He's with Lynn Swan.
Winslow, you've been doing it all year. Another key catch in the drive. Did you see a certain hole in the defense?
Well, they've been giving us double coverage. A double roll zone all day long. Something that the coaches agreed not to do, but they've been doing it all day long, and we finally capitalized on it. It's a pattern we run in San Diego all the time. I have the option to read the coverage. Dan picked it up, I picked it up, and it's just a great play for us.
Where do you get your courage from? You've been doing it year after year, even though you're new in the league, but phenomenal ability just to keep going. How do you do it?
Then I just love to play. That's all there is to it. I enjoy being out here. I enjoy being out here in front of fans, pleasing them, and I enjoy pleasing myself, and that's playing football.
Continued greatness.
Thank you.
Back to you, Al.
All right, Swanee, and with 3 seconds to go, time for only a run back as Lowry gets set to kick off for the AFC. NFC has one chance now, and that's to run it back all the way. See what kind of a kick Nick comes up with here. A little ground ball fielded up at the 28-yard line by one of the NFC linemen. And that will do it. So no Triple Crown for the NFC. They win the interconference battle, win the Super Bowl, but the AFC snaps its drought by winning the Pro Bowl for the first time in 5 years. Lowry with the field goal to do it as the AFC wins it. The final score 16-13. Now for those of you